An E-2 visa, you have to have a business in the front, and you have to know what the immigration attorney likes.
Welcome back to the Daily Coach YouTube channel or kimdaily.tv. Today we have a very special guest. He is a friend, a longtime colleague. He's a franchise consultant. He's many things. Welcome to the conversation today, Franchise Frank.
Well, thank you, Kim. With all those nice accolades you give me, I'm going to have to ask for my honorariums go a little higher, the price. I'm only joking.
We are going to have some fun today because Franchise Frank specializes in E-2 visas. And I've never had this conversation on my YouTube channel. And honestly, Frank, I don't really, as I admitted to you, I don't really know that much about E-2 visas, the process, how people go about it. This is your forte. It's your specialty, which is why I asked you to be my special guest so that we could educate the viewers of Kim Daily TV. If you are coming to America and you're looking to start a business and you need an E-2 visa, Franchise Frank is your guy. So, but before we talk about E-2 visas, Frank, let's just talk a little bit about Frank Caperino. So, I know that you were an engineer. I know that you first got into franchising through Cold Stone Creamery,
Correct.
and you are a multi-unit My Salon Suite franchisee today, in addition to being a franchise consultant. So, tell the viewers of Kim Daily TV your amazing story.
Well, I came back to San Diego because my first business in 1986, a while ago, was the Defense Department. So you had to live in either Norfolk or San Diego. My accent's obviously a little east of San Diego, you can tell. So, but I met my wife in Norfolk, the other Navy town, and we got married in 5 weeks. That's 41 years ago. And we traveled the world. And then I started a business and said, it's a defense business, so it's got to be San Diego or Norfolk. So we picked what we heard was great. We've loved it for all these 36 years. Well, then my wife was an RN. I said, she has a lot of stress. And she said, well, buy me a Cold Stone Creamery. That was 1996. Then I got my first SBA loan in my life. And then I got 7 more. And all of a sudden I had 8 Cold Stone Creameries, right? So that's over a 15-year period. And then the recession came in 2008 and I started selling out. It was a horrible time to sell ice cream. So, uh, so here I am. I had so much.
Wait, is ice cream really not recession resistant, Frank?
No, because you're in the power business. Remember, we always got to define what business we're in. If you have an ice cream store, you're in the power business because people can get ice cream in the grocery store in a recession, right? So they stop coming to you because it's more expensive and they can't afford that during a recession. So I found out you got to define what business you're in. Who are your customers? In ice cream, the kids are your customers. So when they go to school, your business shuts down. You only make money in the summer because mom and dad brings the kids in, but the kids really tell mom and dad, let's go in. But how did I get into immigration? Because some of the networking groups I was in during this thing, the reason I got into franchising is because getting in a beautiful group like Franchise that you're in is because somebody said to me, you should become a franchise consultant. And I didn't even know what it was because I was on the web trying to charge people to pick a franchise for them. And I go, that doesn't work. Your competition doesn't charge. That's why I'm in franchise now. And I was so lucky to have somebody introduce me. And it's been a great 10 years. I just love it. If it wasn't at my age, I'd be at Walmart saying, welcome to Walmart if it wasn't for franchise. So, uh, and then I also teach a franchise management course at San Diego State that a friend of mine who I knew, he knew I could, I have a lot of franchise background. He knew I had a master's degree in finance. So he asked if I want to teach at San Diego State. And I said, does my mother cook spaghetti? And we did it. I've been doing that for 7 years now.
And she cooks spaghetti because you're from New York.
Anyway, that's the encapsulation, Kim. So
I love it. Well, you left out the part about your salon suites. So you sold out your 8 Cold Stone Creameries, and then what did you do?
okay,
You
then
became a
doing
consultant.
franchise. But what does franchise open to you? What do you and I do? We open people to an inventory of products or franchises that they've never heard of or seen before. And I was so impressed with, after having 150 teenagers working for me in the summer in Coldstone, I hated it. I can now go to a business with hardly any employees. That's what we do as consultants, right? I got so impressed. And then I got so impressed with Ken McAllister, who ran my salon suites, because he's an engineer also. And I just said, I'm going to buy one of these. He didn't. And then I bought, with a group up in Orange County, a 6-pack, and then a group down here in San Diego with a 6-pack. We only developed one in Orange County because I had millennials and us. I had two 60-year-olds and a couple of millennials. We didn't understand each other. So we only built one. But down in San Diego now, we have three, and we're building our fourth. So, and then Ken McAllister goes on his boat and lives a good life. And I still like my salon suites. No employees, cleaning service, repairman. That's all you need. No inventory, no employees.
Right. Highly profitable. Good, good. So you've got your salon suites, you're a franchise consultant. So let's take the conversation then back to immigrants and E-2 visas. And why is this an important service that you're offering?
So it's really difficult to do this, but what I did is I started interviewing immigration attorneys and got to know them. They all have a second or third language. So I kind of made it easy for the foreign national who wants to come here during COVID, especially. CNN and Fox and everybody's talking about EIDL loans. They're talking about PPP. The whole world's looking at that, but those other countries aren't printing any money for their citizens. So now they really want to come to the United States during that period. And I know at least 10 immigration attorneys, and sometimes I can blend somebody who's speaking Spanish with the right attorney, somebody who's speaking even Russian with the right attorney, not during this part, of course. But um, it really worked. And then the immigration attorneys, if I get to know them really well, I love when they say, go see Frank first. When you get a business, come back. Then I'll do my paperwork. Because an E-2 visa, you have to have a business in the front, and you have to know what the immigration attorney likes. Sometimes they like only 100 grand. Sometimes they want 250 grand spent. Because you know what an immigration attorney is? He's an RFP proposal writer. That's what he does. He writes the proposal to the State Department, and some get like you spend 100 grand, some want you to spend 250, and then I have to interview all the franchisors and see who likes E2 visas. You know that, Kim. They don't all like it because the paperwork is harder. It takes longer, but the demand is there. Those customers are so loyal to me that when we have domestic clients, they might be talking to three brokers. I mean, you put them in line. I've been too easy with them. So, and they cheat on you. So, I mean, but the foreign,
My candidates do not cheat on me, Frank. If they cheat,
I,
they're out. I don't have
no, I'm
time
not
for that
doing it. I'm not doing
nonsense.
it.
It's my way or the highway. I'm just
I
kidding.
love it. I love it.
But they don't. They don't. They don't.
Yeah, the foreign national's loyal because you're helping them get into the states. That's why I like it. But you got to do local too because it takes too long to get them done. But they're going to be there. They're going to try to get it done.
So you mentioned that with an E-2 visa, there is certain financial parameters that are in place. So, and that it really is per the attorney that you're using. It's not a state recommendation or a federal recommendation.
No, no, because they know this. They know the office down to the office or the person that they write to. Because it's from D.C. to L.A. Whatever office they're dealing with in the State Department. They kind of say, well, if I do 250,000, that means the foreign nationals more committed because he's spending more money, so they like that. But some of them don't have that money because they can't get an SBA. They can't get any financing till they have an E2. So then some specialize in writing around the 100,000. That's at least the State Department accepts that. I had a budget blinds down to like 70,000, and they got it. Okay, I'll give you one focal point, right? A coaching contract. The guy's from Turkey. He got a focal point coaching contract and got an E2 visa. So it depends on the immigration attorney.
So, really, then, for anybody watching this video, don't eliminate yourself if you're looking for an E-2 visa because you think that you don't have enough cash coming in. I think this is the perfect layup to reaching out to Franchise Frank, franchisefrank.com, and then having the conversation with Frank because he may be able to find an opportunity for you where you can get in with the capital that you have. Have you ever seen a deal get done with like no capital
No,
or no?
the immigration attorney, they have to show a commitment. Um, in fact, sometimes why franchisors don't like it, because if the immigration attorney does his work, which I don't suggest him to do it perfectly, he puts that check that they write to the franchisor in escrow. So in other words, the check shows the commitment to the State Department for the franchise fee at least, and but that money is not going to be released to the franchisor and hopefully the part of it to us until the immigration visa is finished, right? So but people like
Mm.
the Budget Blinds family, Home Franchise Corporation, is just amazing. They work with this for 10 years or more. So I try to do something like that and tell the person it's not that expensive. They've been around 25 years, they advertise nationwide. This is the one you want to start with. And if not, we have other ones. I have at least 20 people that do E2s, and you know them also.
Right. Right, and I love what you just said that it's not it's the foray into the country and into an opportunity. It might not be the
Right,
dream business, but you know what? You hear people hear the name budget blinds, and even when I mean that's the number one concept I think here at Franchise, the vast majority of us consultants have placed
right,
people into over our tenure, and people from the outside would be like, "Really?" Like, yeah, because we're not matching based on the widget. We're matching based on the characteristics of the business and the role that the owner will play in the business. So, we can't judge a business by what it's
right,
called, right? Frank owned a Cold Stone Creamery, but what did he really say? He was in the power business, and what I heard him say was he had 150 employees working for him. Teenage employees nonetheless, right? So he was really in like a staffing organization and paying a huge power bill. So it had nothing to do with Cold Stone ice cream,
right.
right? Right,
Right. I
Frank?
love that. I always said ice cream is what you got into, but behind the counter, every business is the same. And your state and federal requirements and health department requirements are the worst part of it.
Exactly. And that's, I mean, a good franchise consultant is matching on goals, like your vision for your life and what you want to achieve, using the business as the vehicle that's going to drive your life to some new outcome, and then matching on the characteristics. So, the owner that you want to be, the role you want to play, the time commitment you want to put in, the type of people you want to create jobs for and be managing, the environment you want to walk into every day, right? Because it's those characteristics that ultimately enable somebody to go on to become a satisfied and fulfilled business owner,
Correct.
right? It's not oh, I own a budget blinds. No, what, right? No one ever woke up and said that, but there's 900 franchise owners in budget blinds who would tell you that's their dream
That's true.
business. And for some of you, as Frank was saying, it's not the dream business, but it's the first
I've
business.
had people
It
I've
gets you into
had
the
very
country.
wealthy people from Mexico City. That's one of my biggest sources. Come in and love my salon suites. They come to San Diego, they walk them, and they go, "How can we do this?" Well, you need two employees. That's number one. You need two employees to get a visa. So I said, where I have a 1099 cleaning guy and I have a 1099 repair guy, make them your employees. So I even get them excited over things they wouldn't even think about doing, right? So,
Right. So Frank knows all the tricks. I mean, that's what an expert coach is here to do, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You have somebody like Frank. I mean, I know a lot about franchising. I know nothing about E2 visas and this process, which is why I wanted to bring my friend on. I always tell people I may not know the answer to every question you ask me, but I guarantee you I know somebody who does. And this is my somebody for the E2 visa conversation. So, Frank, is there anything else you want to share about the process, about even finding that immigration attorney? Which comes first, the chicken or the egg, Frank or the immigration attorney? Anything else you want to
well,
mention?
usually they pick their own immigration attorney, and then he refers them to me if I've already know that immigration attorney. But they can go the other way too if they've seen this. Come to me because I know at least 10 I work with all the time, and I can even match your language, right? My most interesting story lately, and I feel sorry for the individual and his family, was Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, I had a person that they're getting 25% inflation rate right now. and the government's shutting off the power 12 hours a day because of problems in the government. And he was telling me his exchange rate, and I was tracking that for him. Uh, Sri Lanka rupees to the dollar was 280 when I started talking to him. 3 months later, it was 400 to 1. He was losing his assets, and he had to drop out. I felt so sorry for him. He said, I'll come back to you, but I hope they fix that country. So, since I was an international person for years living overseas, it really works that I like to talk to people internationally also, right?
What a wealth of knowledge you are on a subject that I can probably guarantee not too many franchise consultants know too much about. So you heard it here, right here on Kim Daily TV. We're going to leave the contact information for Frank in the description below or on the screen. Frank, in parting, thank you so much for being my special guest today and educating the viewers of Kim Daily TV on E-2 visas.
Thank you, Kim. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. And until next time, if Franchise Frank is not your guy, then you know that I want to be your daily coach.